Hello, my friend. Today I am playing with something new. The company Hippie Crafter reached out and asked if I would like to do a review of any of their products. I thought it would be fun if we tested their resin and their mica powders, or pigment powders as I've used before. And how are we going to test these out, you ask? By preserving an Oreo, of course. I have succeeded with other resins in the past, and I'm excited to see if Hippie Crafters resin is up for the challenge. So let's get started. I think it's best that we start by mixing our resin and our hardener. So I'm gonna move the mica powder for now. We'll pick out our awesome color later. The resin came with this handy dandy pamphlet. It's got some directions, it's got frequently asked questions, some important safety information, so this was really useful. This resin, like most resins that I've used in the past, mixes with a 1-to-1 ratio, which means that each of these gets mixed with equal parts. I've got here 2 little 1-ounce cups and a mixing stick, as well as some gloves. They recommend that when you are mixing the two together, that you mix or I should say pour the hardener into the resin instead of vice versa. They also recommend that you rinse and repeat the process. So once you've mixed them together the first time, you'll then pour it into another container, making sure to scrape the sides and mix it again. The stirring process should take about 3 minutes. So once you are doing the second bout of stirring, just be wary of the time. It does start to cure within 8 to 10 minutes. They suggest that when casting something in multiple layers, that you add the second layer about 4 to 10 hours after the original, which is consistent with the way that I normally cast my Oreos. Something else that is consistent is that they recommend when casting an item that you do it in about a 1/4 inch thickness, which is perfect because that's about the same thickness that my Oreos are cast in on side to side. So this is really exciting. I will put my gloves on and then we shall start mixing our resin. Okay, so I've zoomed in here. Hopefully that will help you see. When I use these little cups, I've also got, as well as fluid ounces, I've got drams. So for me, I usually do 2 drams of one, and then I go up to the 4 drams. That helps me measure properly. So I've got the hardener. We're going to mix first. I might have to... All right, here we are. 2 drams. Yeah, I'm going to have to go off screen again. Sorry. Okay. That should be measured perfectly. Okay. Now I've got to stir this for 3 minutes. Cool. Okay, now that it has been mixed and remixed, I'm going to get out my mold and we'll pour our first layer. All right, I've got my mold. This is an 8 cavity mold, but I've zoomed in to the one we're going to use. Gonna pour it in nice and slowly We got a lot of bubbles while I was stirring. The other resin I use, sometimes that's not a problem. Other resins that I don't use as often, it can be a problem, so we'll see. I tried not to stir very quickly, but sometimes my ADHD brain just sort of realizes I'm stirring and goes stir, 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 stir. Get in there. Cool. Every last drop has gone in. We'll have to keep an eye on it, make sure no real big bubbles form, and then we'll be back in about 4 to 5 hours to add our Oreo. Yay! I'm so excited. Now I've been thinking about the colors, and I'm thinking maybe a green or a blue. My Mew Oreo cookie I did in a purple, so that's always an option, but I think I want to try something different. So I'm really, really excited. We'll pick that out when we come back. It has been 5 hours and we are back. The first layer is very clear, no bubbles. Very exciting. Now we get to pick out our mica powder. Look at all these colors. Oh, yeah. I definitely want this bright lime green. So bright, so pretty. Awesome. Grass green. And then we'll pick out our Oreo. I got myself the family size because I knew I would not be able to resist. And I've already ate some. All right, this one looks good. Gotta put on my gloves and then we'll mix up the second layer of resin. We'll do the same mixture of 1/2 ounce. I've got 2 more cups. So exciting. And then we'll get this cookie powdered up. And this green is so bright. Oh my goodness. All right, our Oreo is dusted on both sides. So now what I do is I take a little bit of the resin and I put it on the top. I do this to ensure there really are no bubbles in the design itself. Not so important on a standard Oreo, but on those unique limited edition Oreos, it's very important to keep bubbles off of the image. All right, so that is layer number 2, and our Oreo is in place. This is so exciting. Oops, sorry. Knocked the camera. I got so excited. We'll wait another 5 hours, and then we'll add our final layer of resin. And then about 24 hours after that, we should have a preserved Oreo. I'll see you when we get back. It has been closer to 7 hours, but we are here at our last layer of resin. This layer, I tried to get them in the camera, did have 3 bubbles that I missed. So it's still kind of tacky. I was able to pop them, so now they're more like craters. So I'm hoping that when I add in the next layer that it fills up and is barely visible, if visible at all. So without further ado, I'm going to mix our final layer of resin. I just added in the final layer. I just wanted to give you one last look at the resin here. It's very, very bubbly. Looks kind of fizzy on camera. Not really so fizzy, in real life. I'm having a hard time telling if the bubbles are all that's there or if the green mica powder dispersed, sort of bled through it. So that will be interesting. I guess I'll have to really wait until it's cured to see for sure. And I am a little worried about those crater bubbles. I'm excited still, but I do have those little footnotes, and I wanted you to take a look. And hopefully it's going to be beautiful. We'll see you soon. Hooray! It has been 24 hours. It's time to take our Oreo out of the mold and see what we've got. I'm really, really excited, so let's pop it out. She's so beautiful. All right, there's definitely some bubble issues. We thought that might happen. It seems to be for like that whole layer. It does not look like we have too many little bubbles. There is some type of grainy, there might be itty bitty bubbles, but it might also be the mica powder. It doesn't look like it really bled, but it might have spread. I don't know. I'm like 70% sure they're bubbles. But it is a success. I think the issue here with these bubbles, aside from the big ones, that was because I wasn't paying enough attention to pop them soon enough for them to refill. And this layer, I probably waited too long. That was when I waited about 7 hours to do the next layer. Gonna have to keep it within the 4 to 5. just to be safe, maybe closer to the 4. So the first layer or the previous layer, whichever order you're in, happens to still be tacky enough to absorb and not be so separate. And it looks like it's very clear. I was also a little worried because the hardener was yellow, and I read online that it said that that should change, and it did. So, hooray! Awesome. It's a really cool little Oreo. Well, my friend, we set out with a goal to see if we could encase an Oreo in Hippie Crafters Resin, and I am so happy to say that we can! Huzzah! This fun experiment was a success. I myself have to get better with this product and time my layers more appropriately, but I think that we have a great product here. I am really excited about the brightness of this mica powder and a few others that I saw in the box. So I'm really looking forward to creating more things, casting some items, maybe, I don't know. I've never really coated anything in resin, but maybe I'll try with this stuff. I do have a lot more that they sent to me, so I'm really, really excited to try this more extensively and get a little bit better at it at the process. Hippie Crafter seems like a really cool company. Their website is really funky, and they have tons of different products to choose from. Like I said, they asked what products I wanted, so I chose the resin and the mica powder, but they also have acrylic paint, pouring paints, clay, pens, markers, different types of canvases and watercolor papers, and just a whole array of stuff to look at. So I highly recommend checking out their website. I do have a referral link down in the description that I will put, as well as they do offer a first time discount of 10% off. So I'll put the code down there as well. I really like this resin, and I can't wait to test this out and maybe some other stuff too. We'll see. And I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I know I really enjoyed making it, and I hope it has inspired you to want to go and try, if not a Hippie Crafter product, I hope I inspired you to go out there and try something new, because you never know what might happen. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day.